Hello, good day, everyone. Welcome to Module 1.6, where we are now looking at hospitality business value chain. I'm sure we are already getting into it. We now have an idea of what hospitality distribution it's all about. We know what the OTAs are, what is meta search. We've understood. We have had an idea. We now have idea of the hospitality distribution landscape. How big, how large is it? Now we'll be looking at the hospitality business value chain. And today I'll be introducing the concept of the hospitality business value chain, an important framework for understanding how hospitality organizations create value and achieve competitive advantage. In business analysis, the value chain is commonly used to examine how different activities within an organization contribute to the creation of value. For example, the chef prepares the food, he stays in the kitchen. The waiter going in to bring the food to the restaurant, it's an added value in ensuring the customer has a satisfaction. It represents the sequence of processes and operations that transform inputs into products or services that customers find valuable. In the hospitality business, value chain analysis focus on evaluating the various activities involved in delivering exceptional guest experiences, from service design and operations to customer relation and support services. Each activity plays a role in enhancing customer satisfaction and organization performance. Since its emergence, the hospitality industry has experienced continuous growth and transformation, driven by changing customer expectations, global tourism trends, and increasing competition. As a result, industry stakeholders consistently monitor their value chains to identify new ways of adding values, attracting more guests and increasing revenue. Beyond offering unique products and services, effective value chain management enables hospitality businesses to maintain a competitive advantage. Also, when activities are performed efficiently and effectively, the value generated exceeds the cost of delivering those activities. This not only improves profitability, but also helps organizations identify areas of inefficiency and implement strategies that optimize performance. So we can now see that understanding the hospitality business value chain is essential for organizations seeking to enhance customer value, improve operational efficiency, and achieve long-term successes in our high competitive industry. So and then we can now see from what we are discussing at this moment is the issue of hospitality distribution, which is also a value we're trying to place in ensuring customers can access us. And when they do, you will realize over time the profit will overtake whatever cost we must have invested into this course and into the knowledge, our acquiring knowledge in hospitality, distribution, and revenue management. So we're going to start from the business so that we can all understand how does value chain play in the hospitality business. So if you look at my screen, I have how many triangles? 1, 2, 3, 4. And you can see in the triangle, you have the owner on top. Here, the owner has the building, he has invested in the facilities. And the next thing is he has an operator. He has the brand. And that's why you see people will decide, I want to be part of a chain hotel, or I want to go franchising, I want to buy the brand. And the next thing is we'll look who will be the operator. of this brand. So you can now see in a typical standard hospitality setting, we are going to have an owner, you have the brand, you have the operator. And this operator requires distribution to be able to give value into all the parties involved. So without distribution, value will ordinarily not come. Now, what am I talking about in terms of value? The owner has invested his money, he has gone to acquire brands, and the operators need to ensure the system is run efficiently. When it's run efficiently, how do they know? It is when it generates revenue. How do we get this revenue? We'll get it with the proper use of distribution. And you can now see that is the valuation, and that is what distribution is adding to us. So I'm going to digress a bit for us who are new in the business. Typically, you see, I said there is owner, there is brand, and there is operator. Most of us were working in a system where we call independent hotel, where the owner is the owner of the brand, is the investor, is the owner of the brand, as the one supervising its operation. You can see, but most importantly, he can only do part of distribution. Maybe the guy's picking the phone, the website, what about the other things? And that is, you can now see. So no matter how perfect, how available the owner is to be able to afford the brand and to be able to run the operations, we still need to go out and look for this distribution to make life easier, to be able to generate the revenue that will give us profit. And that is the value that all of us are adding. So we're going to look at a good example here. Does anybody remember the Best Western that was situated on Allen Okpebi roundabout, former World Club Hotel? It was there. The hotel is now undergoing refurbishment. That gives us a good example of what we're talking about in terms of value chain. Suru Group is the owner, bought over the building then, and they had to go to Best Western to acquire a brand. Now, when Best Western got the brand, when Suru paid for the brand, then the hotel became Best Western Ikeja. And they got African Sun to be the operator. So the African Sun was the one running the Best Western Ikeja then. And then what happened? We have the OTAs, Expedia, working with the system in ensuring the hotel is readily available, apart from the in-house marketing and distribution power of Best Western and African Sun. You can say this is a typical example of value that has been added. And what other value do you think it had? Now I'm going to throw this open. You would understand that when brand comes into a hotel, values added, the hotel start converting naira to dollar, but they will now start converting dollar to naira in their pricing. Have you ever seen any international brand becoming cheaper than independent hotel? The answer is relatively no. When the brand comes, it comes with value, the price goes up, and that is the value we're talking. Also, where you market your hotel, also put value, and that is where distribution comes in. So you can see where we are. So this is a typical example of how it works. You can see the owner is there. He builds, he has the land, he invests in the building. The brand is there to put it, whether independent, whether I want to use his mommy's name for the hotel, maybe wants to use his name for his hotel, Babalola Hotel, Ikeja, Babalola Hotel, Port Harcourt. I want to use any of the brand, the Continental, Port Harcourt, Continental, Abuja, Intercontinental. Also, we have Intercontinental Lagos. These are brands. And also, you now have the management, who is the operators. You can see those three must be readily available. That is when you are ready to offer your service efficiently and effectively. Now, what happens? Distribution is always by the side to ensure, remember, in our knowledge of trying to differentiate between marketing and distribution, we say this marketing will tell people, I have hotel for you. What does distribution say? It's a lot easier for you to get to this hotel, to book this hotel through me. So distribution play a key role in the value, the hotel value chain. that we're talking about. So I'm going to be ending this class in the word of Trevor Wall in 2017, when he was trying to analyze the different types of ownership we have in Nigeria. And he said, look, I've seen so much, we have over 8. Now, this is a typical example. The owner gets a brand and also have an operator. That's number 1. Number 2, the owner gets a brand and the brand owner is also the manager. For example, I wouldn't want to start mentioning brands. That makes number 2. Number 3, the brand, that's the owner, gets, if that's in most cases of our franchise, that is the second option you see, where the owner acquires the franchise, the brand, and it becomes owner operated. The third one is the owner developing his own brand and also managing it. That's number 3. Number 4, the owner have his own brand and look for somebody to help him manage. That's number 5. And so many other models that has been in the Nigeria industry so far. So what does the value chain does for our business? The value chain with the help of distribution, hospitality distribution, differentiates our product and services. It makes it a pull factor. Now, we know, those of us who study marketing, we know that it's a push factor, that is a pull factor when you're trying to market a strategy. Push factor means the organization is the one passing the information to the guests for them to track. But when it comes to distribution, it makes it a pull factor. The customers want to come to the hotel because you are where they want to make the booking. You're on their phone, you're on their website, you're on their pages, and they are there. They are there for you, and that is what it means. And this is what we use, and this is what distribution use to attract tourists, guests, businesses into a hotel. This differentiation could be to create via brand affiliation, franchising, management contract, among others. And above all, this knowledge that we're trying to improve ourselves on, which is hospitality distribution and revenue management. I'm sure we are now getting to know, because at the end of this class, we'll be having a capstone project where at least we're going to enroll our hotels at least on one distribution, on one hospitality distribution platform that is free. And you see that most of these things are free. It is when they generate income to you that you commit some level of cost, whether it's pay-per-click, pay-per-impression, or pay-per-transaction, or pay-per-view. So many of them are some of the options available. And these are things we'll be learning which one is the best for us in our business. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much. Remember, if you have any question, all you need to do, put your comments on the platform, and I will try as much as possible to attempt to answer it so that others can learn from your question. Thank you so much, and I hope to see you very, very soon. All the best.